So we do have some breaking news to tell you about as we bring in Coach Chris Amill, the former now coach at Chaney High School, the football team, a guy that has done so much for so many. And, you know, he steps down because he's got a better opportunity to impact more people along the way. And I'm not sure, guys, that he's going to be able to do himself justice, but we wanted to bring him on the show and let him have, you know, praise him a little bit for what he's done in the community, but certainly let him have his parting words for the Chaney community and the Youngstown community as he leads to bigger and better things. Coach, welcome.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Thanks for the kind words.
Oh, come on, man. Come on. You've been so great to us and so great to these kids. We got to do a prime time with you and sit down with you earlier this year and hear some of those stories. And that's you know, a piece of the puzzle. That's maybe 100th of the things that you go through on a daily basis. Talk to me about, you know, what, you know, the reason for stepping down, number one, and then number two, what you're going to miss most about your kids at Chaney.
You know, the first thing is the reason I'm stepping down is I'm taking another position at a school in Charlotte, North Carolina. Brand new school, Corvian High School. It's in Huntersville, which is right outside of Charlotte. The school is 2 years old, and they're starting up a football program next year. My best friend actually, some of my best friends actually live down there from college. One from here, I played at Cardinal Mooney with them. And their kids practice AAU basketball at the school. And the guy mentioned the athletic director's from Farrell, PA, and he mentioned they're starting football and was looking for a coach and asked them if they want to coach. And, you know, my friend Andre Jackson was like, you know, I'm not the coach, but I got one for you. The guy just kind of Googled me and tried to find out a little bit about me and things like that. Then he just called out the blue and just said he felt I was the man for the job and just kind of blew it off and didn't think much of it. And then as time went on, you know, just the study conversations and things and the fact that, you know, my friends down there, their kids will be attending that school. So I'll get to coach them through high school. Played a big part in it. And, you know, just previous times, just turning down jobs, opportunities that I had, you know, for different reasons. And talking to my boys, you know, I have a son that's 24 and one that's 19. My 19-year-old attends Cincinnati and he's like an undergrad assistant coach, you know, and they encourage me to, you know, to take this opportunity and see what's out there for me. So, you know, so I'll be moving to Charlotte, North Carolina, sometime between December and January.
Wow. I mean, you look at, you know, a little different world down there, but the impact that you've made here, Coach, has been unbelievable. When you look at, you know, between Cardinal Mooney and Youngstown City School District, the impact that you've had on these young men and women across the board. I mean, what is Chaney meant to you? What is being, you know, a Cardinal Mooney guy meant to you? And what are you going to miss most?
You know, for me, you know, just starting with Mooney, you know, it means a great deal to me. You know, I was around Mooney football probably since I was like in 5th grade, you know, with just different family members and then my brother playing there. And just the impact and the influence that Coach Butchie had on my life. So Mooney is always going to be a special place to me. You know, it helped me become the man I am today. One of my favorite teachers, Mr. Jackman, is from Mooney. You know, she played a big role in my life. It just, you know, keep me out of trouble. You know, I have friends that have been killed. I have friends that are in jail. And I have friends that have, you know, graduated college and are successful. And she made sure I stayed on the right track, you know, with Coach Butchie and many others. So, you know, Mooney has played a big part in who I am. And then, you know, just being a city guy, you know, being a inner city South Side kid growing up, even as an adult, you know, growing up and I mean, just raising my kids in the city and living on the South Side. So, you know, where I live, my corner was a bus stop and, you know, shopping at the same grocery stores and just seeing a lot of things that were going on and just wanted to make an impact and change some lives. And Coach Shep brought me on board and, I mean, it's been a great ride. Over at East, for 2 years, made the playoffs, won a conference championship. This is my third year at Chaney. Just Still Valley champs this year. Putting kids in college. But, even besides that, just working in the school and just the daily interaction with the kids and just trying to be that positive influence and change lives and just change scenarios, for when they get older. It's been great. I talked to a few guys, Todd Thorne was one of them, and he said, once a cowboy, always a cowboy, and I'm a part of it. I'm etched in history. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the love and support, and and I'm gonna take everything with me that I've learned, that I've dealt with, that I've been a part of, and I'm gonna just keep growing.
Coach, you've always been a guy that just embodies the attitude of Youngstown, the grit city, the work ethic. What are some attributes that you've learned from the city of Youngstown that you kind of want to take with you to Charlotte and maybe teach some of those kids down there how we do it up here in the 330?
Yeah, I mean, we're hardcore. That's one thing about Youngstown. It's not I don't want to say it's not a pretty place, because I mean, Youngstown's beautiful, but we're hardcore. When you look at the history of Youngstown, the steel mills, steel is steel. It's hard. And then you go through with the years with the mafia and the drugs and the gangs. I've always said if you can survive Youngstown, you can make it anywhere. So it's just taking that toughness, that blue collar, that gritty, grindy, not scared to get dirty, do what you have to do to survive and make it to be the best. That's what I'm gonna take with me. It's just one of those things. I talk to my boys about it all the time. At practice, I've played and been around a lot of people that woulda, coulda, shoulda. And the difference between them, myself, and some of my friends are just some of the choices we made along the way. And it's just taking that competitiveness and that fight and all that stuff, down south. And I'm not sure how football is down there, but I know how my football team's going to be. So we'll see how it goes.
Coach, looking at everything that you've done with the Youngstown City Schools, I think it's unmatched. What is the biggest thing you've learned about yourself as a coach in your tenure from East to Chaney, Mooney, all of it? What is the biggest thing you've learned about yourself?
The biggest thing I probably learned about myself is, I guess at Mooney, I was able to just coach football, and we had guys there that wanted to play football. We had guys there that understood the program and the tradition and everything like that, and coming to Youngstown, the grind, it's I'm on call 24/7, so, the biggest thing I learned about myself is, as hard as the grind is and as much as people talk about it, it's just a process that you got to love. And I think, for me, just learning to trust that process, learning to appreciate that process and just keep working to get through that process was probably the biggest thing that I've taken, from the city schools for sure.
Coach, last question I have for you is, I mean, obviously you've been able to move a lot of young men up to the next level, whether it be D1, 2, 3, JUCO, things of that nature. When you told your team, you told your staff, how did they take it? I'm sure they were upset naturally because they don't want to lose you, but I got to feel that they were excited for you in the next phase of your life.
Yeah, I mean, it was, the coaches were very supportive. There's a handful of them that I'm pretty close with. So been talking to them about this, for a while. And they weren't trying to convince me one way or the other. They were just, more of an ear, listening to what I had to say. But breaking it to my boys was pretty tough. We had quite a few that were shocked. We had some that were hurt, but all, loving and supportive. They want me to be successful. I had guys say, hey, like, my mom won't care if I come down with you, so it's, that felt good. It was like, hey, as long as it's Coach Chris, they're not going to care if I go with you. So, that part felt good. But, just talking to him after, one at a time really made me feel a lot better. It was a hard conversation to have. I literally threw up several times just thinking about the conversation and trying to figure out if this is what I want to do. I mean, it literally made me sick to my stomach. But, I know they'll be in good hands. Our junior class is phenomenal. And I think that's the class that's going to take Chaney over the top, and whoever Casey Bogert brings in, he's going to be the right guy, and he's going to have some great guys around him to make it happen. So, the guys that are coming back, a lot of them have offers. So that made it a little easier for me to know that at least I know that they're taken care of. They just have to finish what they started in school, and everything else will take care of itself. But, definitely tough, a couple tears, people a little upset and mad, and, a lot of hugging and I love yous after.
Coach, thank you so much for everything you've done for us. Your weekly staple on Coach's Corner with Steve every week, and you've taken more time than I know. Most of us here at YSN do on YSN. You're almost more than I am. So thank you for that. And always, if you need anything back in Youngstown, we know that we have your back here. So thank you for everything you've done, not just for us, but for the entire city of Youngstown, for raising the level of football here and the raising the level of young men and the standard of who young men from Youngstown need to be. So thank you for all of that.
Thank you. I truly appreciate it.
Thank you
guys. Thank you guys for everything as well.
You got it. Hey, and anytime you need YSN down in North Carolina, we'll get you taken care of down there too.
Sounds good. I appreciate it.
There he is, Chris Amill. I mean, honest to God, one of my favorite people. Just like, you want to talk about life changers. There's game changers and then there's life changers. And, you sit down with that gentleman for any time that he's willing to give you, and you're going to learn something about life. You know what I mean? Kids that come from nothing and going to D1 schools. Coach Amill is honestly one of the best genuine human beings there are, and there is out there. I wish nothing but the best for his entire family, and great things. In North Carolina has no idea what they're getting yet, but we know what we're losing. So Chris, we wish you the best in all your endeavors, man. Good luck.
He's a guy that he's been through so much, and I think it's great that he's able to take what he's been through, what he's experienced, and then use it to help kids that are probably going through some of the same things.
Yep.